How many times do you think the term ill-fated has been used to describe the Titanic?
Two more times today.
I think that it was probably, the phrase was designed for the Titanic.
So, welcome to a new episode of the What a Disaster Movie Podcast. I'm your host, Gregory Allen, and today I'm accompanied by Rickard Sawakinski and Elizabeth Butter. Butter?
Yes.
Elizabeth Butter?
Yep.
Elizabeth Butt.
It's exactly right.
That is. Elizabeth Butt.
Gregory.
Gregory.
So I got to tell you something.
Tell me something.
So the other day I get this, so I'm building this sample box thing at home.
What did you use?
It's a Raspberry Pi. It's, it plays samples when you put a MIDI controller up to it. That's not important. What's important is Eric ordered me, he's the bass player in my band. He ordered me some Transflash cards, some micro SD cards to put into it. And I'm going to open the package, and I just cut like a 32 gig micro SD card just right in half.
Oh, did you?
Scissors, yeah.
Yeah, that's not smart.
Just right in half, man.
That's no good.
32 gigs.
That sounds like a shitty packing job if you had an SD card that close to the tape line.
Yeah, or I just wasn't paying attention.
I mean, that's for sure. But like when you pack electronics, why would you put an SD card right on fucking top of the box?
Yeah.
That
I was cutting open the blister pack.
You were cutting the blister pack.
Yeah.
I thought you were cutting open the box, and it just happened to be.
I was just cutting a blister pack, and I just decided to choose the card as this area I was going to cut.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it was because it came with an adapter.
Did you return it?
Yeah, I should have. It came with an adapter, so I was just kind of looking at the adapter and not the actual card, which is tiny, fingernail size. So that was great.
Yeah, it's like a size of a pinky fingernail. It's wild how small those things are now.
32 gigs gone like that.
Just gone.
Yeah. So that's my story.
That's a good story.
That's my moment of failure.
You can donate to our GoFundMe, Annette.
Yeah.
I need $12.
R.I.P. Richard's 32 gig micro SD.
Listen, if every one of you gives us 50 cents, I'll be able to get a new one.
We'll have $1.50, and it will have come from us.
It'll have come from you guys.
It will have come from the three of us. We'll get there. With time, We'll get there. I built a Diet Pi VM on my Windows Plex server, and I installed the Pi-hole on it. So now I don't get any like inline ads that are in the list of blocked IP addresses and things. It's basically a DNS sinkhole for ad pages.
It's the Dwayne The Rock Johnson of ad blockers.
And then I'm using uBlock Origins on all my browsers to prevent all the tracking crap and other ad stuff. And I think uBlock Origins does block YouTube ads.
Really?
So that's nice.
So you're basically
on my desktop. Yeah,
you're going dark, huh?
Yeah, I'm off the grid.
Yeah. Wow.
OTG.
What about you, Liz?
What about you? Are you off the grid, Liz? What technology feats have you accomplished?
What kind of
week?
successes?
Can you pull that microphone down a little bit?
Have you achieved?
Technology-wise, or
just life?
Yeah.
Man.
No, technology first. Let's talk tech. This is Tech Talk.
Let's talk tech.
Tech Talk with Rick and Greg and Liz.
And Liz.
Featuring Liz.
My camera broke while I was out using it, and I repaired it, but I don't really know what I did to fix it. But I did fix it.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
That's
flow state. She was in a flow state. She fixed her camera.
That's pretty much what happens with technology. Like, we don't know how we fix it. We just do.
Yeah. You turn something off and back on again.
Pretty much.
Might have been a small component of it, but that's usually how I fix everything.
What was broken? What was it not doing?
Not autofocusing. The lens wasn't doing anything at all, really.
Does your lens have a switch for the autofocus?
It does, and I
switched it off and back on?
I did.
That's probably what did it.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Did you take the lens off and put it back on?
I did.
That
wasn't it either.
Oh, that's also another word.
Did you turn the camera off and back on?
No, I had to go through the settings and do a bunch of things in the settings, and eventually it came back.
One of those settings she turned off and back on, and it fixed it.
Well, I'm proud of you. Either way, you basically are technology support person.
The queen
now.
of technology.
She's a genius. Yeah.
I really am.
If you want to talk to our tooth holes, you can call us, leave us a voicemail, or text us, text us. 209-781-9113.
I left the 3 off the notes, so Greg has to remember the last number.
I always remember the number. I remember that. I don't need the notes to know the phone
I'm going to start
number.
writing it in.
You can follow us on Podwad on the Twitter. WOD Podcast on the Instagram. We're on the Facebook. And I mean, ideally, you give us 5-star ratings, you subscribe, you download all of our episodes so that we get noticed more and more people get to listen to our wonderful witty banter and my yelling
so good.
And Toothy Holes.
You can come check out our Toothy Holes. Liz is a goddamn photographer. And she could take these goddamn pictures.
And post them like a goddamn adult.
She doesn't have to post them. She just has to take them.
Yeah, I'll just do what I do right now and just hoard them on my drive and never share or
I have
look at
that
them.
green screen over there. That is a perfectly good chroma key. So we did our thing there.
We did.
And today is our 43rd episode of our show.
43rd, yeah.
43rd.
That's how I wrote it.
Yeah. We're continuing the season 3 sojourn into vintage or classic or old or
ass.
ancient or damn near fucking
primitive.
What's the word I'm looking for? They're damn near fair use.
Yeah.
Because of time constraints. Like these things we're getting there. These are old. This one's from 1953 and it is a movie called Titanic. We have seen this movie before.
We've seen,
kind of, anyway.
Have you seen this is not the James Cameron version.
I mean, it might as well be. It's basically a shitty love story slapped on top of a sinking boat.
Yeah, it is.
So,
I mean, so we have some characters. Let's introduce our characters here. We want to get this started so we're all on the same page. We have Clifton Webb. He's the actor, right?
Clifton Webb is the actor. Yeah, he plays
Richard Sturgis.
Richard Sturgis, Dickie Dollars or Daddy Dollars.
Daddy Dollars.
I like Daddy Dollars.
Daddy Dollars is good. He is the protagonist. He's the main character in this movie.
He fucking used his white ass privilege to buy a ticket from some poor Italian family who was fucking floating over in fucking shit class.
He bullies them into it too. He's like, "Are you gonna take the money? You can take the money." Or not?
It was a lot of money. It sounded like.
He's like, "I noticed it's a lot of money. You look poor as fuck."
Yeah,
yeah.
He definitely took advantage of their poorness. And basically put them onto a
advantage. Ultimately.
You know what? A doomed voyage. Yeah. All right? He's like, let's float your dumb asses into an iceberg. I'm going to pay you money for the privilege of being alive while your family dies.
No, for sure. But Dickie Dollars there's a redemption arc here. He does some things.
Oh, are we gonna start spoiling the movie now?
No,
you're gonna do that right now?
Because
it sounds like you're gonna spoil it. Because as soon as you say redemption arc, you know that he saves their fucking lives. So don't even fucking do this, Dan. You spoiled it already.
You said all of it.
You want me to ruin everything? I'm going to ruin everything.
I do. Yes,
Here's the major plot twist. Fucking Baron Trump, his little shitty son, played by Robert Wagner, who's from Detroit, by the way.
That's great. He's such a snitch in this movie, though.
He is a little shithead. He seems like such a little rich weenie.
Yeah, I hate him.
Although rich weenies now, I think, are probably worse than rich weenies then.
Yeah, he just seems like a nice kid. Like, it's way too nice.
He seems mostly fine. He just wants his dad's affection and attention.
He wants all the approval of all the men around him.
Yeah.
You know.
He just wants to be, he wants to be the man that his father is.
Yeah.
Even without realizing that that's kind of a shitty way to be for the most part.
You got to remember back then, like, you spent all your day with your mom, right? Dad was at work all day. You spent all day with mom. And, like, you kind of, like, I think little boys were kind of looking for their dad's approval. And they weren't invited into men culture until they were much older.
Yeah.
You see that. You know, you kind of see that in a lot of old movies. But still, he's a little snitch. This is the kind of guy who turns you over to the cops.
For sure. If he had a little brother, he would be constantly ratting him out.
Yeah.
Dad, he fucking did a fucking thing to my fucking legs, and now I can't walk.
He's
Save
me.
I'm pinned under a desk that he tipped onto me. That's probably the kind of kid.
So Baron's his name. That's good.
His name is not the GIF. He's not the GIF. What the fuck is that kid's name?
Turdball
McTurdball.
I didn't write it down.
And you know what? I was wrong. Gifford. The GIF is played by Robert Wagner.
Who is the GIF?
The GIF is the college boy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
College boy.
The love interest.
Yeah.
The guy who stands in for Jack in this one, except for he's also a rich kid. Poor kid.
Where the hell is the kid? Is it Norman? Is that him? Norman Sturgis? He's uncredited in the goddamn movie.
Oh, wow.
This poor little shithead kid. Uncredited. Yeah. He made movies through the 70s.
That's actor. Maybe that's just his name.
Yeah, just his name is uncredited. No, Harper Carter is his name. He was born in Los Angeles, California, so he's probably just an orphan owned by the studio.
Right, yeah, because that's what
Fox owned him, and they just, like Shirley Temple.
Like Shirley Temple, yeah.
Yeah, she just lived in the various sets they had built on their studio lot.
She lived her life because she lived a normal life. Yeah. Shirley Temple.
Let's see what this guy made. He's in 7 movies. 7 movies.
7 whole films?
No, not 7 movies. 7 credits, and it looks like 1, 2, 3 of them are uncredited. So, of the 7 things he was in, near half of them he was not even credited in.
Well, all right. We took a long journey, but we now know.
He played one of Laurie's relatives in Doctor's Wives in 1971. What a great fucking credit he got.
Great.
That poor man.
That poor child that became a man who...
Norman. Fucking Norm.
Little
Nobody
snitch.
liked fucking Norm anyway. Anyway.
I thought he's got credit because I don't want people to know I'm a little snitch.
The sister was Annette. Yeah. Is that her name? Annette?
I just call her the daughter.
The daughter. Yeah. So there's Daddy Dollars, the Mad Mom, the daughter,
the son,
Baron Trump, and the Boat Bro. Boat Bro is Robert Wagner. I mean, he didn't seem like a bad dude.
He wasn't high society. He was like mid society.
He was a college student at Purdue in Indiana. He's from the Midwest. He was bound to have. Yeah, they were bad at tennis. They lost their tournament.
His friends were shitty. They were like, you get introduced to Boat Bro with his friends who are way more bro-ish, and they're like watching their girls walk in and they're dividing them up. They're like, that one's mine, and that one's mine.
Yeah.
They're like, oh,
he didn't say a word. He just stared at Annette like, man, she's kind of cute. And she was kind of cute.
Yeah.
She's a cute kid.
That one's mine.
She's 18.
She's the right age.
Dibs.
Right for
Liz called dibs on her, actually. Oh, wow.
That's how it works. With bros, dibs is dibs.
Dibs is dibs, bro.
I'm saying the gift called dibs.
Did he call dibs? I don't remember him calling dibs.
No.
I thought you called dibs.
I don't think he called dibs. Did he call dibs?
No,
I didn't think he said anything. I think he literally just was like watching. Yeah. I mean, whatever. They were just eyeballing people that were getting on board, people watching and being fucking shitty college kids.
He seemed like a relatively good enough kid.
Yeah, he seemed like a good-natured guy in this movie. I was impressed with how, in a movie made in 1953, I always expect them to be more sexist than they are for the most part, especially when we're watching relatively unknown disaster movies.
No, for sure. Like, I definitely the whole time you're like, your shoulders are up waiting for like the shitty thing you're going to have to ignore because it was made 40 years ago or 50 years ago.
Right. And I mean, part of it's kind of flipping that shit on its head. The mom kidnapped the kids to go to Mackinac, Michigan.
God.
It was trying to more or less keep the daughter out of that high society bullshit so that she could be a normal human being.
So we kind of hinted at it, but that's how it kind of starts, right? Daddy Dollars is trying to buy his way onto the boat because his wife and kids are on the boat without him.
Right.
And everybody knows who he is. He's like a big deal in high society. Everybody on the boat as he's walking out is like, oh, Richard, you're here. Where's your wife? How's he doing?
Can I give you some clothes?
Yeah. He sneaks into first class and like with his like coach ticket and just like borrows clothes off some guy.
Yeah. I need to borrow one of your shirts. I'm wearing my entire wardrobe.
He's really concerned about fashion in this movie.
I mean, presentation of self is important in high society.
Yeah, he didn't have a flower on his lapel, and he was like, oh, this is the first time you see me without a flower. How would you even recognize me?
Right.
Side note, I was completely captivated by Julia, the mom's coat. It was like an overcoat that she would wear with big white. It's super shiny. I really wanted to know what color it is because, of course, the film was in black and white, so I was looking it up.
You watched it in black and white?
You got it in color?
No, it was black and white. I just wanted to sound surprised.
I was trying to find out what color the coat was.
You're like, oh, me too.
And there are these long, extensive articles about what Richard Clifton Webb's costumes were.
Yeah.
Nothing about the women's costumes at all. But like really elaborate.
They
stuff.
looked great. Like all that stuff was very much looked red carpet ready almost to me.
Yes.
Not that I could tell the damn difference. I mean, you put on a suit jacket from Sears and I'd probably think you look red carpet ready.
As long as it fit, you know. We also get introduced to somebody else who gets a weird name because they couldn't get the rights to her.
Oh yeah.
It kind of falls in the Richard's fact corner. But Don Siegel and Molly Brown is in this movie. They have a character in this movie named Maud Young because they couldn't get the rights for Molly Brown. Yeah, well, and people don't know who she is. Margaret Brown was an American philanthropist and socialite.
Yeah,
She died in like 1932, but when she was on the Titanic.
Sorry, I'm gonna interrupt. We're basically drawing the parallel to the character played by Kathy Bates.
Yes.
In the James Cameron one, yeah.
Yeah, by Kathy
Who
Bates.
was actually named Molly Brown.
Yeah, they actually got the rights for her. The estate held on to the rights from the movie for some reason. But she was kind of a cool character because when she was on the boat, she was trying, when she got in the lifeboat, she was one of the last people to get in the lifeboat, and she was trying really hard to get them to go back and pick up more people, and they wouldn't do it. But she threatened to throw one of the crew members off the boat and stuff, and she had one of the oars and was trying to get back to rescue more people. But then after they got off, after they got rescued, she actually started a charity for the people who were in second and third class seats to help them out financially and to get them therapy after they
watched their family die.
Yeah, well, the families of the people who died
go through one of the most tragic fucking things in the history of.
So she got together with the other first class passengers and
nautical travel,
started a fund to help out all the second and third class people, the more poor people because obviously the poor people went through more of a traumatic event because more poor people died in this situation. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. She's a cool character, and it was unfortunate. I don't know why they wouldn't let her use her name, but I thought she was worth mentioning.
It was the 50s. It was very. I mean, that's. I don't want to say soon after, but there's still direct descendants of that person alive at that point.
People who saw the premiere of this movie were on the Titanic. Some of the people were actually on the Titanic who saw the premiere of this movie. So there's some of the survivors who are still alive. So it was a huge.
That's really cool. The stuff that Molly Brown did post Titanic sinking.
Widener maid, I'm looking for the Widener maid.
Well, don't look at me. I got so many maids, some of the maids are taking care of the maids. Can't say I blame the poor fella. I just haven't got the kind of a face that goes with a bankroll. Flash my badge and blind a few people. Name's Mort Young, Montana lead mine.
Did this film win an Oscar, an Academy Award for anything?
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like this should have won an Academy Award for something.
Actually, it beat out James Cameron's Titanic. It won Best Picture.
Best Picture.
Yeah, Cameron's Titanic never won Best Picture. It won some other awards.
Probably won plenty of awards. It was a very well-made movie. But I mean, it's a fairly generic story.
Yeah, this one was Best Picture.
I feel like this one was a more interesting story than what James. If we could have taken this story and interjected it into the James Cameron version, it would have been a better movie.
I liked it was shorter.
Yes.
I liked the James Cameron Titanic movie.
I know you do.
They did not waste a lot of film on that one. It was.
But you got to do a podcast for it, and it's 3 hours a movie.
It was tough because I had to watch it a couple times.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. This one was shorter, so I could watch it 3 times in half the investment.
Not as much agonizing death to watch.
Plus, it was on YouTube, so.
Oh yeah, if you want to watch this movie, I don't know. It's just sitting right up on YouTube. I didn't put it there. I don't know if it's illegal. I think it's free use. Yeah.
We're gonna do our plot breakdown. 3, 2, 1, Liz. 30 seconds. Go.
Boat sails under auspicious circumstances. Boat hits iceberg and sinks unexpectedly. End.
Okay. That's how you want to be.
I'll do another one. No, let me do another one.
Ready, set, Richard.
Yeah, this movie's about a big old boat. It's a big old chunk of ice, and a bunch of rich men, and poor people die. But, fortunately, we do get a resolution to a troubled marriage at the end, and that's the part that I stuck around for.
Is that what you want to go with?
Yeah.
You got like 10 seconds left. And you did not describe the
They literally drowned half their problems in this movie.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we're done with those two. Here's my take on it. An American woman who is married to a rich European socialite kidnaps her children and takes the Titanic to head back to the United States. The ill-fated ship certainly fucking ends up sinking, leaving very few survivors who made it through, who didn't. It's a tough call, but there are a lot of twists and turns in this one, and without spoiling anything for the rest of the episode, you're ready for quite the adventure here.
You should have wrote the IMDb description. That was way better than what IMDb wrote.
Yeah.
What does IMDb write? Do we have it?
I do have it. I always have it.
It's about on the level with mine.
IMDb description. An unhappy married couple struggled to deal with their problems while on board the ill-fated ship. How many times do you think the term ill-fated has been used to describe the Titanic?
2 more times today.
I think that it was probably, the phrase was designed for the Titanic.
Ill-fated was coined after, I wonder, actually, I'm going to look at the etymology of ill-fated. If it happened after Titanic, I'm blaming Titanic.
Me too.
It looks like ill-fated was like 1710.
Ah, damn.
So,
there was
Another boat.
they were predicting the Titanic when they came up with that. There's this big ship in the 200 years from now. Stuff sinks. It's ill-fated.
I feel like they were talking about Jesus, maybe. Or it's like the ill-fated Jesus Christ.
The ill-fated Jesus Christ. It really was Jesus' fate ill?
I don't know.
I mean, he's basically turned into God at the end of his story, right?
He's doing okay.
I do know that Beastie Boys had a license to ill.
They did have a license to ill.
Yeah.
They had a whole album about that.
Yeah. Yeah, they wrote a documentary
in
audio form about that.
I mean, there are important things that happen. You have to fight for your right.
Yeah.
To party.
Nobody else is going to do that.
Nobody.
I mean, yeah,
I really don't know anything else that's on License to Ill. Is Brass Monkey on License to Ill?
That's commentary against the proletariat. And that's where I think the Beastie Boys are really coming from.
And then they became the man.
That's what always happens.
Okay, well, I have a sinking suspicion that things are not going to turn out well for these people. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, it'll be all hands on deck to discuss 1953's Titanic.
Four decades have passed since the Titanic screamed across the headlines of the world. Yet no human drama has eclipsed its staggering impact and overwhelming power. Now, for the first time, the screen brings you the strange events, the monumental story of those four never-to-be-forgotten days.
Hey, welcome. This is your party captain, Gregory Allen speaking. It's my privilege to announce that we have been given the unique opportunity to get a bit more intimate with all the majesty that is the ocean. If you could return to your cabins, grab your flotation devices, and we can finally move this party to the water where it belongs.
And up next, our Mr. Sexy Legs competition on the Lido deck.
The Jared Leto deck? Can we stop talking about Jared Leto, please?
No, he's a theme of the podcast.
I don't want Jared Leto any more than I want Applebee's, okay? No Applebee's, no Jared Leto. They are off limits.
They're gone. They're on the list of no.
I told you when we started this season, no Applebee's, no Jared Leto. Now we're talking about Leto again.
So we're back.
Do we want to get a little more in depth with the plot points here now?
Yeah.
This time, we can spoil the surprise that drives a little bit of motivation behind the second half and gives the opportunity for a redemption arc for Daddy Dollars. Daddy
Dollars.
P Diddy Daddy Dollars.
Daddy Dollars.
P Diddy Daddy Dollars. Piddly diddly diddly daddy dollars.
Puff Diddy Dollars. Yeah.
Puff Diddy Daddy Dollars.
I hate this.
Hi diddly ho, neighborino. It's Daddy Dollars here to rescue you from your
Doodly
life
did
of
dogs.
bland clothing.
Yeah.
Stop by the tailor on the ship and get yourself a three-piece suit made.
Yeah,
This
just
is
do
the
it because
fashion.
you're Daddy Dollars.
Although I think he was mostly in tuxedos.
Yeah. He showed up. Yeah. He plays a lot of bridge. Daddy Dollars.
What's the quote from 30 Rock when she's, are you wearing a tuxedo?
It's after 4 lemon.
It's
What am I, a
after
farmer?
farmer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my favorite quote.
Yeah. That's
Your hair is your head suit, Lemon.
Daddy Dollars sneaks aboard this boat, but he buys a ticket, but still sneaks aboard.
Yeah. He sneaks up to the upper decks.
Yeah, he's half stowaway.
Yeah. 30% stowaway, would you say?
30% stowaway.
He looks wealthy enough that they don't notice that he's not poor.
No, he knows how to control room.
Or they don't notice that he's... Yeah, no. They notice that he's not poor, so they let him up there anyway.
He's doing exactly what I
like,
did.
hey, you can't be up here. And he's like, oh, I'll be good. I'll behave.
I'll do my best to fit in, and then hands him the sign that says first class only.
Fuck off.
Yeah, pretty much that's the middle finger of 1953.
Well, it's like, so I play music, and I can tell you could do the same thing at concerts. If you want to get backstage, you just act like you belong there. Just, you know.
Just nobody ever questions it, and like at least in the venues that you guys.
So we find out, Greg.
Yeah. What did we find out, Richard?
Daddy Dollars had to sneak aboard this boat because the Titanic, the ill-fated Titanic.
Yeah.
Because the mother ran away with the daughter and the son.
Yeah.
Because they really, honestly, it's really similar to the Cameron's Titanic in the sense that they want to set up the daughter in a sort of an arranged marriage situation. But
I think there's no like one thing that triggers these sorts of events where literally you're kidnapping your kids under the pretense of taking a visit.
Right.
I mean, there's certainly a lifetime of shit that's been going down.
She has had enough of the bullshit.
Right.
She doesn't care about the fake socialite world. She came from more of a middle class background in Michigan.
Yeah, her family's from Michigan, Mackinac Island.
From
They call
Mackinac.
it Mackinac, which is maddening.
I had no idea what they're talking about at first.
That's what I said. I was like, did he say Mackinac? Are they talking about Michigan and just badly pronouncing it?
Yes.
And it turns out, in fact, yes, they are talking about Michigan.
Where they're from.
Where they're from, Michigan.
Mackinac.
Mackinac.
So they're actually from Paris, France. And the daughter...
They live in Paris,
France. You're right. They live there. They're not from there. And the daughter is into it. She
Yeah.
does not
Oh,
want
yeah.
to... Like, this twist comes pretty early, but the dad kind of lets the daughter know, like, hey, your mom was stealing you away from me. And
Yeah.
the daughter's like, oh. And the mom was like, yeah, the guy you want to set her up with looks like a pig or something. It's like a pig face or something like that. And she's like, no, he doesn't.
I'm taking off my loud coat.
She's taking her shirt off, guys. For our male listeners, Liz is taking her top off.
getting
Here it is.
Very naked. Please, just keep taking it off. Now she has 3 more coats on, so this is going
Now
to
I'm
take a
taking
while.
off my skin. Now
I told
I'm
her-
taking off my muscles. Now I'm down to a skeleton.
She is literally just organs floating. A brain, eyes, and organs floating. Her skeleton
Hovering.
has been shed. This is amazing.
It's incredible.
Just my nervous system.
It's finished. Quick,
Okay,
cut
where was
something
it?
off and see how much it hurts her.
So pick it back up. That's mine now. We get back up from the plot.
Sorry. We're supposed to be more focused right now, Liz.
The daughter doesn't mind.
Yeah,
the
she
dude.
she didn't have any problems with what was going on.
Actually, she kind of wants to be a socialite. She's actually kind of cool with the whole everything that's expected of her, and she's pissed at her mom for taking her out of that situation.
She was groomed into it, so that would make sense.
But like in Titanic, she was kind of the girl Rose was against the socialite.
Yeah.
She was pushing back. She's a rebel, like you'd expect.
But she had suffered the consequences of being a female in the socialite lifestyle because her dad died or something and they were poor and she was marrying into wealth.
Right.
Whereas in this one, she was getting ready to marry into wealth and was excited about it.
She was
but
like her
she'd
family's
stayed
last
wealthy.
Hope. Yeah, she was like her family's last hope.
Yeah.
Billy Zane. She didn't marry Billy Zane, and everything was going to go to hell.
She was exactly. If she
That's
hadn't
right.
married Billy Zane, then they wouldn't have been rich socialites anymore. And so her mom was pushing for that to retain their status and money.
Right. So yeah, I feel like you can't have a story about the Titanic without talking about the classism in it, and this movie's no different. It does kind of land on that a little.
I mean, you could tell a story about people that you could actually relate to that are maybe middle class as opposed to the ones that we get, which is a pauper con man in Jack and a rich con man in this one. Like in neither one of these scenarios are we meeting people that are in any way living the life that we're used to, that the average American would be used to.
I have no idea what these people's days are like.
I don't know what a socialite even does aside from have money.
I wear blue suits, do formal dances.
Is that a thing? The color's got to be blue.
She said so. The mother
sure.
goes. The boat bro's like, oh, I want to ask your daughter to do a formal dance because the boat bro goes to the mom.
Always rushing to get their blue suits pressed.
Yeah, and he goes, oh, guys are always rushing to get their blue suits pressed. And I was like, I'm sorry, lady, but things do change.
Yeah.
She's like, things never change. Like, oh, they do.
Oh.
I don't know anybody with the blue suit. No blue suit.
Oh.
She's going to Mackinac, so she better get used to it.
Yeah. So mom finds out like the tennis guy, Purdue boy.
Yeah.
The GIF.
Boiler up.
The Purdue Boilermakers.
Yes.
Yep. Boiler up. God damn it. So Pretty Boy Purdue decides he wants to date Annette, the daughter. Apparently we're just calling her the daughter. Richard has given everyone names except for women in all of these episodes that we do because he doesn't appreciate women.
I just don't assign personalities to women or value to them. So it's nothing personal.
Because you can't get personal with women because then clearly you're pursuing a relationship.
They're barely real.
It's the only way women are allowed to exist is if you're pursuing a relationship with them. I mean, right, Liz?
Right.
Correct.
See?
Vaginas make them
From
crazy.
the woman's mouth. She is the only woman that could represent women as a whole because she is the only woman that we know.
I know everything all women think all the time. I'm
There
very
it is.
in tune.
She speaks for all women. Congratulations on being that mouthpiece for whatever it is that women do.
Femininity.
So yeah, so now we got the GIF wants to date the daughter.
Yeah, I love the way he goes about this. He's like, listen,
he hits on her mom.
Yeah, like clearly hits on her mom.
Yeah,
he's like, listen, your daughter turned me down. What do you think? All of this?
The P's for Purdue, not for Princeton, but still a good school.
It's also for something else.
Also, not good at tennis, P means penis. I'm going to fuck you both tonight.
Yeah.
That's a direct quote from the movie.
I heard you and the mister are out of sorts.
Yeah.
That's what they talked back then.
Right. We have a cabin if you need a little extra space to lay your body naked out
Bring
on.
those gams.
Them gams.
Oh? Yes, I thought you didn't notice. Maybe you want a ticket. I could get one for you.
No, thank you. I'm not much of a gambler.
Oh. How about some soup? Nice and hot.
Thank you. I just had some.
Well, this is for Purdue. It's a college out in Indiana. Everybody thinks it's Princeton, but it's Purdue.
I see. Well, to answer your questions, her name is Annette. She's going on 18, and I think she's very pretty, too.
Well, now that you brought it up, I think I kind of got off on the wrong foot with it.
So I want to know another interesting fact about this film.
Sure. Give me an interesting fact. What's the most interesting fact you've got today?
I think the most interesting fact about this movie and the most interesting filmmaking choice they made was the fact there's no score. All of the music is live. They purposely went without a score because they want it to feel more realistic. It is any music you hear is being played by somebody on screen or being sang by somebody on screen.
Did the Cameron Titanic movie have music?
Yes.
Did they have a score? I don't know.
It actually, Celine Dion?
No, I mean, I know the song. I know the song, but I didn't, it never really played in the movie, during the Titanic sequences. Did anything? I don't remember.
I feel like at least the intro and stuff had a score.
I'm sure there was something.
There was some score during the sweeping cameras, shots and stuff.
Bound to be something. But yeah.
I was really hurting for that for that music in the beginning because when they're boarding the ship, there's this really low frequency repetitive sound.
It was driving me nuts. I thought something was breaking in my house.
Me too.
It's just
it was making me insane.
I had to pause it 3 or 4 times to confirm that it was not like a cell phone buzzing or something.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Liz heard that too. And there's actually a scene where Boat Bro is like dancing with the girl and he's showing how to do a jig, because he doesn't know these lower class dances and he's more middle class. So he's like, "Oh, you don't know that dance? All the kids are doing it."
Yeah,
and he's singing while he's dancing. There's no music; it's just him singing while they're dancing. So
it was pretty good.
Yeah, the whole thing. There's no score. So I thought that was the most interesting fact.
Yeah, he slowly wore on her. She started to appreciate his rough edges and his personality. He was a likable guy.
You got to wear the girls down.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, he's good looking.
If they say no up front, you clearly just keep trying until they're so uncomfortable that they finally say yes.
Well, have you ever tried asking their mom? Works for me every time.
Is that how he got you, Liz?
Yes.
Ooh, there's one more big twist in this movie. Do you want to give up the big twist?
The big twist.
The big old twist. What's the biggest twist in this movie, Greg?
So, obviously, the relationship between Daddy Dollars and Mad Mom is pretty strained.
Yeah, they hate each other.
She hates him. I don't think he hates her. He very much was dedicated to her and the family, and made the attempt to fix it by literally sneaking into first class section on the Titanic.
To give him a benefit of the doubt, I think he overall loved her. He had a bad way of expressing that.
He did say something in the movie that stuck with me, which was he's not a man of character. But when he wants something, he goes after it, and he stuck to it, and that was I think kind of what he was doing in this. But so he's like, "I'm taking my son. You can't take my son." Blah blah blah. And she's like, "Well, guess what? He's not your son." And that's like the mind blowing moment. And finally, he's like, "Well, fine, then that kid can fuck off. I don't want
scandal. Not only can that kid fuck off, I don't want him to even know who I am."
Yep, he's done. Yeah, you leave. I'm good. See ya.
And this kid is up his dad's ass the whole movie.
Man. Yep.
The whole movie.
They're in the middle of a shuffleboard tournament, and he's like, "Dad, the shuffleboard, the next game's coming." He's like, "You're going to have to find somebody else. I'm playing bridge.
I'm drinking and playing bridge with the unseekable Molly Brown, you little shit."
That's right.
That's where I'd be too. Let's be honest.
I wouldn't. I would be too poor. So thanks, guys, for reminding me of how wealthy you are compared to me.
So much money. I have hundreds of dollars in my bank account right now.
Hundreds.
It's staring at me.
Yeah. I have $17s of dollars in my bank account right now.
Teens. You know how many
all
cents
for Molly
Between
Brown.
the three of us, we could totally buy a pizza.
Or a hotel room for the night.
Could we? No. Without putting ourselves in a bad place, could we?
We might buy a hotel room and some bed bugs. But
Yeah. There's a Grand Motel down the street. The Grand Motel, Greg. We can handle it.
Oh, I'm sorry, to roll back to the boat bro. One of the things he's trying to get this girl to at least dance with him at this dance event, right?
Yeah.
And she's no. And finally her mom, she's like, "I owe my mom a favor, so that's the only reason I'm dancing with you." And he said, "Well, that's fine. The chicken doesn't have to like me as long as I get a good omelet."
Yeah. I wrote that down too.
The dance is the good omelet. That's awesome. That's hilarious.
Also, to him, an omelet is a dance. Like,
I like he's getting the thing he asked for, and if he has a good time, awesome. And well, if it doesn't, he just wants to have fun. The dances is fun.
So much purer than like Cameron's Titanic, where they're fucking in a car in the stores,
right? Sweating up the windows of the sex car, the sex mobile,
the sex mobile.
Like these two, slap and drag it down.
These two have only known each other for a day, and they're just dancing.
Yeah,
they just dance a couple times, and like I think they kiss once, and it's really exciting for
again, like these love stories that realistically should take a few days to come up, but it's literally just hours of time spent.
Yeah. And actually, this one is a little more realistic because it seems like the girl likes him, but it's not a huge.
Yeah,
part
there's
of her life.
like maybe a physical attraction,
concerned.
But she doesn't care. She's more concerned with what is happening with her personal life right now.
She didn't jump out the fucking lifeboat.
No, she didn't try to kill herself. Right.
She's like, I'm good.
And she didn't try to kill herself either.
No, that was good. Yeah. Oh, you guys want to know one more cool fact?
Oh my God, we got
Richard's
another
fact
fact.
corner.
All these facts, like right up in our butts.
Richard's
One
fact
more.
corner for
Put this
a while.
fact in my butt.
This is actually more of a Titanic.
Make it bright in my butt.
Put a big fact in Greg's butt. Put a little fact in the butt. After the big fact, shove the big fact.
Okay,
up
just
the
the fact, man.
But
Just the facts, man.
yeah, this is a Titanic fact. Liz
She does have a Titanic head. That thing is huge.
She has a Titanic. This is a Titanic fact. Liz probably knows this because she has a Titanic head. When Liz was a little girl, she loved the Titanic. So, anyways, there was this long rumor that men dress as women to get off the Titanic because they let women and children off first.
Yeah,
that never happened. So like there wasn't this big situation where all these like rich guys dress up as girls to get on the lifeboats, but it happened in this movie.
Did they? I didn't catch
One
that.
guy did that. That never happened. There was not a single recorded incident of that. Oh, here's the best part about the men dressed as women, though. This is a rumor started by one of the survivors' business competitors to discredit him. So it's just some politics. Somebody was like, oh, he survived the Titanic? Yeah, too bad it's because he dressed up like a lady to get off. That little shit. When he was just one of the lucky people who got on the boat. Liz knows all this stuff. She's just in there nodding her head like, yeah, I'm full of it.
You guys say it.
I'm full of it.
I have this knowledge.
She knows it.
Talk it out.
You know who doesn't have the knowledge? Our listeners.
Nobody else. It's just the three of us. We are the last surviving knowledge bearers of Titanic factual information.
Yeah, we've seen both movies.
We've seen
We are full.
both movies, and we're going to be watching Titanic 2: Jack's Return. So, he just ripped a beer off of my thigh.
So the boat hits the berg. That's where we're at, kind of at this point.
Well, I'd like to. Yeah, I mean, we could just go with that part.
Anything else?
The story. So this movie, and I like the movie, and it just is a bunch of unrelatable people having unrelatable situations with little twists of humanity, like the son is not his, and him being pissed off about that, and lashing out at the kid, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I like orgy porn too, but like, I can't see myself in that situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then suddenly the Titanic sinks, which everybody knew was going to happen. But it was an hour and 20 minutes or an hour and 10 minutes of these people's lives. And then all of a sudden we're into the Titanic sinking. And it looked like they did a fairly accurate sinking too. Of the model that they used looked like it sank the way it's been described in countless simulations and the way it was described by survivors and things. So,
I don't even know
Liz, what was your favorite part of this movie?
Costumes and miniatures.
Costumes and miniatures. What
the sets were fairly accurate too.
I like every time I see the Titanic movies, I'm like, these fucking lobbies in these ships are massive and so ornate and ridiculous. There's no way they're like this. But then I went on a cruise and holy shit, they're just like that. Yeah. They're like expensive hotel lobbies.
Yeah, they are basically floating hotels, right?
They're beautiful.
Yep. So I think he was pretty. I think like James Cameron, they were pretty devoted to making this accurate and knowing that the survivors were going to be seeing it.
Yeah.
So
James Cameron is interested in making it accurate because of his ego, but whatever. One 6
Let's not be rude.
Motive doesn't matter. Outcome matters, and I appreciate it.
I'll be rude to James Cameron.
The ends don't always justify the means.
And the means always.
But I mean, it's a movie. It's not like they're killing people to. Yeah, they're cracking a couple of omelets to make a few eggs, right? Cracking some omelets to make an eggs.
Ham omelets.
Hamlets. Oh, that's where he made it. It's ham omelet. That's where Shakespeare got the name Hamlet.
Yeah, you know
Hamlet doesn't mean castle, or I think Hamlet means castle, right?
Village.
Yeah, it's a little Hamlet. Hamlet.
I thought it meant a small pig.
Hamlet. Yeah. That's a baby pig. Hamlet,
right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we know everyone is on the edge of their seats, wondering what's going to happen next. This cliffhanger of an ending. But we're going to go to a quick break right now, and when we get back, Greg will talk about this movie, and I'll be taking a nap.
Thus, on April the 15th, 1912, at 0220 hours, as the passengers and crew sang a Welsh hymn, RMS Titanic passed from the British registry. "712 people in 19 lifeboats survived.
Okay, Richard's done pooping, so we're back. We're all
Poops all out.
Richard and I dressed in drag so that we could get on a lifeboat, and now we are floating comfortably
And I dressed
in
in
the
drag
ocean
so that I
waiting for
can
rescue.
stay and die.
Dressed in drag so she could stay and die. Finally, the ending she's always wanted.
Drowning to death or freezing to death. I guess you could take your pick. You could be crushed to
mustache.
death by stuff.
But like with a mustache.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
The mustache is the important part.
Oh, look at that. We got a whole 4th page here. Look at this.
Whole 4th page.
Do we want to do the 30-second ending description of Titanic? Is that something you really want to do?
What was that?
The fucking boat sinks. There's your 30-second
Kinda
description
covered
of the ending of the damn movie.
No, but like, they're just not here. Give me my 30 seconds, Greg.
All right. Well, let me get the clock out here. Let me get my clock out. Unzip.
Get your clock out.
Get my clock.
Yeah.
Clickety,
Load it.
Click, clock.
Load the clock.
Ready, set, clock.
The boat sinks.
Okay. Is that all you want to?
That's all I got.
You got? Okay.
And the little boy dies.
Okay. Well, Liz, are you ready for your turn?
Sure am, Greg.
Richard gave his up. So ready, set, go.
The boat sinks.
All right. Anything else you want to add to that?
Nope.
All right. Well, here's my turn. While the boat is sinking, the boy, the little fucking
Nugget.
Baron Trump, gives his seat up to an elderly woman and gets off of the life raft, which is something Baron Trump probably will never do because he's probably going to be as big of a piece of shit as his father.
You said it. Oh.
Yeah, I did. Anyway. So thanks. So he gets off and he goes and finds his dad, and his dad's like, "I'm so proud of you. I've always been proud of you." And then the boat sinks and they all fucking die.
Yeah, it was pretty stupid.
No, it wasn't. I mean, it was stupid that he got off the boat. I mean, as far as self-preservation is concerned, that's a bad choice.
Dickie Dollars, though. Can I talk about Dickie Dollars for a second? Dickie
You
Dollars
can talk
has
about whatever you want. This is your time, buddy.
He has a redemption. Arc here that I mentioned earlier. I foreshadowed earlier.
Yeah, we talked about how he's basically like he bought that ticket from that family.
Yeah, the poor family.
And what that poor family that was basically given a death sentence at the beginning of the movie.
Dickie
Why don't you
Dollars
tell us about it?
Runs down to the poor people area, which is he must have felt really dirty doing that. He goes to the poor people area and he grabs and he goes, "I'm the man in the family now. You're following me." And he gets that whole family that he bought the ticket off of onto a boat.
Yep,
because
he
their dad
kidnapped
wasn't there.
that daughter. Like he was like, "You're coming with me."
Yeah,
He grabs
just
the kid,
takes her.
and the mom follows him up.
They,
So
didn't speak English, and he couldn't get him to listen. So I thought that was great. That was the best scene.
that was absolutely the best moment of the movie. And then the fact that he tells Baron that he's proud of him, and it was all. I liked Daddy Dollars. He's probably not somebody that I would get along with in real life. Those are fine things that they can exist. But as this character in this movie is concerned, I liked him throughout. And then he did that, and that was cool.
The mom said it best. She goes, "I always thought you were kind of a piece of shit, but it just turns out that when push comes to shove, you're actually not a bad dude."
Yeah.
Because he actually saved a lot of people and did a real good job at the end. And I was like, "Oh, wow. This kind of piece of shit turned out to be kind of another bad guy."
Richard, what happened to us?
They kissed, and he talked about. He was like, "Let's not talk about the last 20 years. Let's talk about." And then he describes the day they met, and it was a very romantic moment. It was beautiful. It was a tearjerker.
Yeah,
I didn't cry, but I could have. Everybody died.
Actually,
912 survivors on the Titanic, right? Everybody else died.
Boat Bro lives. I'm like Jack.
Did Boat Bro survive?
So this is what happens.
I couldn't remember.
This is what happens to Boat Bro. I had to watch this movie 4 times. I kept rewinding it to kind of like see what would
Yeah, I
happen.
literally couldn't remember what happened to Boat Bro.
Because they weren't real clear. So he did that thing that Jack does in in Titanic where he climbs on top of one of the lifeboats and cuts it free.
Yeah.
Jack does the same thing, literally the exact same scene. And he cuts it free, but he slips and falls.
Mm.
And when he falls into the water and he hits his head, and they fish him out of the water and pull him into the lifeboat.
Right. That's right. Yep.
And he's bleeding and not conscious, but it's presumed that he lives.
Okay.
So
there we go. Maybe he married, what's her name?
Maybe he married Rose.
The daughter. Annette.
Annette.
Maybe he married a fishing net.
Maybe he married a fishing net. Maybe he went to Mackinac.
Maybe he went to Mackinac to marry a fishing net.
You think they're going to live on Mackinac Island where you can't have cars?
I think that's what they said, Mackinac Island.
Mackinac Island is beautiful.
So, it is a very nice place. If you haven't been to Michigan, there's a lot of beautiful things here.
Come here. Come to Michigan. Pure Michigan.
Come here.
You can crash on my couch.
Come here, you guys.
Come here, guys.
Just come on.
Come on over. I mean, you don't even call us. I can't imagine you'd visit. But
yeah. You never call us anymore.
Never call us.
I don't know what your problem is. Rude ass.
Rude asses. Nobody ever
if anybody has ever called and left us a voicemail, it would be in an episode of our podcast. But nobody does it. So
not even on our birthdays.
Oh, I haven't had a birthday. Just 3 birthdays here too. 3 opportunities to disappoint us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, Happy New Year, you stupid idiots.
This is the first podcast of the new
all right,
year.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Do we want to end with our contact information still?
Yeah, let's tell them all our contact.
Sure, man. whatadisasterpod.com.
Come do it.
Come do it.
Visit.
Go to Facebook. We're on the Facebook. Go give us a like. We'll be like, hey, thanks for liking us.
Just get a couple likes. I haven't had a like in a long time.
We got a like last week.
I'm craving those likes.
We got likes like last week.
Thirsting for the likes.
It charges me. It keeps me moving.
Thirsty liker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Follow us on your favorite podcast programs.
Poke us.
Get us on Spotify.
Please don't poke us on Facebook, and please don't poke anyone on Facebook.
The poking on Facebook is amazing.
It's a wave.
I wish it was still poking because it's the most ridiculous term. Yeah. Hey, are you there?
Hey, no words, just poke.
Do you guys remember when
guys poking girls all the time?
Poke me back.
I'm so mature.
There was a really brief window of time in which I think it was Facebook Messenger. You could like vibrate people's screens and like there was like a confetti action you could throw and like.
Isn't that on iMessage?
No, Hangouts has all that junk. You can make them afraid of ponies in Hangouts by /ponies.
Oh no, yeah. No, I'm talking about like the buzz and the fireworks and stuff is all in iMessage on Apple devices too.
I haven't had that in 10 years probably, but there was a version of it that I encountered at one point.
There's this whole like culture of people who think
if you don't have an iPhone, you're poor.
Yeah.
Even though like Android phones are more expensive in a lot of cases.
Yeah, they're just classist piece of shit. If you think an iPhone is important, you're a classist piece of shit.
No, you're allowed to think whatever you want is important, but if you think it defines people and their value, then you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, fair enough.
You can have things that are important to you.
You are Billy Zane on the Titanic, and you deserve everything you get.
You are absolutely allowed to have some superficial things that you enjoy. Don't let anybody take that from you because.
But
why
also,
the fuck
don't
would you?
let anyone police you on it.
Also, don't let us tell you what to do.
No, let me tell you.
We're
going
to tell you what to do.
I mean, yeah.
So
you don't have to listen.
209-781-9113.
209-781-9113. Ding.
Ding. And that's us. You call us. Leave us a voicemail, middle C. And you're probably listening to the outro music right now. Do 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 do. I think there is a C in that. I think I might be in the key of C.
I don't know anything about music.
Our outro song. Ooh.
I know that Britney Spears
is rocking the beach. All right. Welcome to the What a Disaster Movie podcast. Wait, I don't have page 1 in front of me. I don't know what we're doing.
Ah!
Wow, you definitely clipped there.
Did I?
Yeah.
Ah! No, I did it.
You were louder last time. You definitely clipped. I heard it.
I heard it too.
You
know what I think about all the time? Maybe like once a day.
Desserts?
And the person who like sent out a bunch of resumes and then realized after like sending out a bunch of resumes and cover letters that her resume said Bachelor O Farts.